You are able to be that rose growing through concrete, but you have to get unstuck. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, family, to Tea Time Podcast by Atiya. This is your self-help, spiritual podcast, uplifting topics we all love to avoid, but we definitely need to conquer. Tea time is your moment to pause, listen, and absorb what is soothing to you. I'm Atiya, aka Atiya, a certified holistic life coach, and this idea was sparked by my passion to help others discover their latent potential, purpose, and significance, especially if you are one who feels overlooked, alone, or forgotten. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. I see you and I feel you. Welcome to Tea Time Podcast. Enjoy the tea. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Tea Time Podcast. It's your girl, Tia, and I am very excited to bring to you a solo podcast. I know it's been a minute. I've been trying to have conversations just to bring other elements into the podcast, but it's time to get back to what I started this with, and that's just me getting the ideas that come to my mind out, giving myself a voice, giving myself a platform to state what I may not want to say or be able to say at all times. So today I wanted to talk about getting unstuck. What is stuck? I think a lot of us have this feeling in life where we just feel like we can't do something, where we just stop in our tracks when we have momentum in, let's say, a class or a job or in our own dreams and goals that we're thinking about and are pursuing. Sometimes we just get stuck, and it's just like we stop. We just can't move forward. We don't even know where to go. We start questioning. I know I start questioning myself and what even is my purpose, and am I really supposed to be in the lifestyle that I'm in? Am I really supposed to be a teacher? Am I really supposed to be a doctor? Whatever you may be. We get into these moments where we start to question ourselves. We feel stuck, and it does not feel good. I have to be honest. I'm just coming out of a moment like that, and it does not feel good. I honestly cannot even tell you how long this moment that I've had has been, because I don't think I realized I was even in this moment because of the several things that I have going on in my life and the things I have to take care of, right? I know personally for me, I have not been giving myself the self-care and attention I know is necessary for me to feel solid and for me to kind of analyze and adjust where I am in life. So I was stuck. I was stuck. And I'm saying was, and I'm proud to say that because I'm here to speak to you about getting unstuck. I think those stuck moments, first of all, we have to look at where they come from. I believe those stuck moments come from avoidance of something that we need to address and that we need to perhaps atone for. The things that we avoid, we avoid confrontation naturally as human beings. We don't like to have to explain ourselves. We don't like to have to fight. We don't like to have to feel like we have to prove ourselves and things like that. So naturally, I believe sometimes we get into this moment where we avoid our problems in life, or we avoid our issues. Let me speak from example. I avoid looking at my bank accounts when I know my bank accounts aren't in order. My bank accounts could be fine. It could be everything I need to take care of the things I have to pay for and the things that I want in life. However, when I avoid them, I actually create the problem that I'm fearful of in that moment. And fearful is a key word because we avoid the things that we're fearful of, right? If we think that it can conquer us and that it is bad for us and it'll kind of squash us, we kind of try to circumvent it sometimes. That's the thing. It's like completely like natural. We don't really understand that we're doing it if we don't actually kind of give ourselves self-care, if we don't actually self-reflect, if we don't pray, if we don't journal, then guess what? We get into these stuck moments because we're trying to avoid something that we don't even understand or know that we're trying to avoid, all because we're not paying any attention to ourselves and our lives. So in getting unstuck, the first thing that you need to do is stop and pay attention. Pay attention. And that's funny because I got that message, literally, pay attention, as something I need to do for myself. And not paying attention looks like, I'm going to avoid the things like prayer, meditation, reading, and journaling that I know I like to do and I know make me feel good because I have to nurse Journey in a second. I'm going to wash the dishes instead of praying today. You know what? I don't need to get in the bathtub. I don't have time to do that because I have to cook dinner for the family. That is a way that we avoid and we kind of self-handicap in order to not address the certain problems we may know that we have. So number one is to pay attention to yourself. That is the first step to getting unstuck. When we pay attention, we can absolutely observe and identify what is bothering us and what is going on. Like, we have to first evaluate where we even are to recognize that we are in a stuck position. Number two is to evaluate your actions. So while you're in this stuck moment, what have you been doing? Because we're still living and we're still going. What have we been involving ourselves in? And the actions that we are taking, are they helping us to live in this stuck moment, or are they helping us towards getting out of it? For example, I discussed how I buried myself in my responsibilities. The actions I was taking was all about my responsibilities, what I need to do in the house, what I need to do for my husband, what I need to do for my caretaking and being a mom. And I immersed myself into that. So I came last. That was behavior and that was action that was not helping me in the stuck moment. It actually made it worse. It made me feel more stuck. It almost led me into depression because I feel overwhelmed. I feel stressed. I feel anxious. All of these feelings are coming up and I'm not happy with myself because I'm giving no mind, no heart, and none of my soul was going to me. It was all being energy expelled everywhere else. It's just going, I don't even know if that's the right word, but all that energy was just being shared and given to other people, and it wasn't being replenished in myself. So I had to evaluate, are my actions helping me to get out of this stuck moment, or actually keeping me stuck, keeping me down? Number three, get back to what you know. When you recognize and are aware that you're in a stuck place, when you evaluate the actions you've been taking, now you're going to have to get back to what you know that it helps to replenish your own energy. For me, I know I say it all the time, prayer, journaling, reading, meditation, yoga, going outside in nature, hanging out with friends. Sometimes I'm an introvert, so I love my friends, but what replenishes my energy are typically things that I do alone. Spending time with family can be that thing sometimes, especially if I haven't seen like my cousins or something for a while. But I know the things that help to replenish my energy spiritually, right? So not a coffee. Coffee is great as well. I love that. But waking up early, sitting by myself in the quiet, listening to music that actually has a high vibration. I love Chris Brown, but that music doesn't always bring my energy up. Sometimes it depletes it just because it's a lower vibrational type of music. I need something that is high vibrational, that kind of connects with my God, that connects with my higher self and who I want to be, rather than a lower level of desires and lusts and things like that. Listening to that type of music has a effect on your frequency, number one, and number two, it has an effect on what it is that we think. If I'm always listening to music that inspires lust and is going in about a breakup or going in about how, I'm not going to say it ain't, So if you listen to music that is constantly on that lower vibrational thing, you're going to bring down your own frequency and you're going to begin to think on that level. So I have been more cognizant lately of the type of music I listen to and when I listen to it, especially because what you do in the morning, what you do when you first wake up is going to set the tone for your day, your week, and your month and your year. So what you first listen to is critical and key. So getting back to myself, going back to the main point, number 3 of how to get unstuck. Getting back to what I know. I literally have been avoiding waking up early so that I can journal and have time for myself. So in this stuck moment, because I didn't pay attention and because I didn't evaluate my actions, I did self-deprecating behavior to now where I'm angry. Like, I'm angry all day. And it was only because I didn't wake up early. I let my daughter wake me up, which means I don't have time to do the journaling and the reading that I love to do, because now my day is just going, and I'm trying to play catch up with the things I need to do during the day. And I did that to myself purposely, I realized, because I would hear my alarm at 5 a.m. and go, I don't feel like waking up. Let me sleep some more. Even though I slept from 9 p.m. I had the energy, but I wasn't in the right mindset. I wasn't connected. I wasn't praying like I should have. And I wasn't connected to my higher self to be able to make that better decision with my actions. So number 3 is very critical. Get back to what you know. What is it? Ask yourself, what is it that you do that replenishes your energy? You may not be an introvert the way I am. You may be an extrovert. An extrovert, your thing might be to have a full conversation with people, to get engaged with virtual events all the time, all day, to be involved with your family all day. There might be certain things that fill you up. So identify and figure out what are the things that fill you up as a person and replenish your energy, because that's critical and necessary. So the 4th step that I have about getting unstuck is the action step, right? The big action step, which is to face the issue that you have been avoiding. Remember when I said that usually when we're stuck, it is because we're avoiding a problem, we are avoiding an issue that we may not even know we have. If you don't, number 1, pay attention to yourself. Number 2, evaluate your actions. Number 3, get back to what you know. If you do not do those things, then you will not be able to face the issue or problem that is presenting itself. Let's call it a challenge, right? The life challenge that is presenting itself to you. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not at a higher level of who you are not going to be able to face the challenge and be successful with knocking it down, right? So that means, for everyone, I believe, that means prayer, meditation, doing something for another, right? Charity. When you take care of yourself and you take care of your spirit, then you can actually face the issue that is bothering you. So how do you actually identify the issue? For me, I journal. Whenever I journal, I write something that I had no idea I was thinking. I can't just say it out. I have to write it. And then I'll realize, wow, that's what's been bothering me. That's what's been on my mind. So I know that I have to journal in order to get the answers and questions in my mind. When I pray very sincerely, but it kind of takes a real down moment in my life, when I pray very sincerely, I usually get communication from Allah, from God. I usually get that communication that this is what you need to focus on. Or I'll get what I call revelations as well about myself and about what's been going on in my life that could be bothering me. So journaling and praying are two things that I need in order to identify the things I don't know just from my mental. I have to tap into the spirit in order to actually address certain things. So with that step of facing the issue or challenge in your life, there are different parts to it that you have to go by. Once you know what that challenge is, you're going to have to accept that it's there, right? We always skip this step. We might have something that we don't like about ourselves or that we don't like about our situation, and we don't just sit down, relax, humble ourselves, and accept the situation. Accept that it is relevant, accept that it is real, and it is actually happening. It is our reality. So if I'm not happy with my financial situation, for example, I have to actually check the bank account, recognize the challenge, and accept that my bank account is not where I want it to be right now. That doesn't make me bad. That doesn't make my life miserable. But once I address that there's an area of growth that I need, I can actually begin to grow. If I don't accept that there's an area of growth for me, I will never grow because I'm avoiding, I am fighting reality as well. Even if I do face it, if I don't accept it, I am fighting reality, which in turn keeps me stuck because I'm never accepting and going beyond it. So also to face your challenges in life, you have to then address it. So if I don't have the knowledge, once I look at my bank account, right, and I accept finally that I'm not happy with what it looks like, I have to then address it. And how do I address it? Think about myself. Do I have the knowledge to make it look like something? What is it that I do want it to look like? Let's start with envisioning, right? What do I envision that my bank account look like? What makes me happy? What level should it be at? You know? And then I'm going to go into actually acquiring the knowledge or acquiring the skill or acquiring the job, right? In this case, to make my bank account reflect what it is I think it should reflect, right? And after we address it and create our plan and work towards it and fight, and mind you, the time span of this happening, I'm using a financial situation because it's the easiest to understand. But this could be with health. This could be with cleaning the house. So there are different time spans with this. And you will be surprised. Things that we think will take years to happen, once we actually address it and take the time to go towards our goal and what we envision, it can be quick. It can take a day because we meet somebody that puts our opportunity in our hands, you know, because I believe that when we accept that what we envision can and should be our reality, then the universe and Allah works with us in accord in order to make it happen. And there's no time limit on the blessings that we are able to receive. So there's a lot of different planes. For me, it's always mental, physical, and spiritual. But as I was saying about ascending beyond it, right? So when a part of facing our challenges is to accept our situation, address our situation, and then to ascend beyond it, right? This is how we grow in life. We have challenges, we face them, we figure it out, and then we grow beyond it. And then we'll face another challenge after that. That's life. A part of growing is fighting. There's a rose that grew from the concrete, right? You think it was easy for a rose to grow up through concrete? I can't even put my finger through concrete. So that's crazy that a rose can actually grow, right? And you have to think of yourself like that. It is crazy that a rose can grow through concrete. That situation that you're in, that feeling of depression, that feeling of anxiety, that feeling of being voiceless, that abuse, that bullying, whatever you may be going through right now, that poverty, whatever it may be that you're going through, that sickness, that disease, right? COVID, whatever you're going through, You are able to be that rose growing through concrete, but you have to get unstuck. If the rose decided, oh my God, this concrete is too heavy on my shoulders, it is too heavy on me, I'm gonna stop growing. I'm not doing this. The rose is stuck. There's no poem, there's no music, there's no anything. You wouldn't have it, because the rose gave up just because of the weight that it felt. Because it didn't accept its situation, it didn't accept that it still has to bud. Regardless of its situation, it still has to bud in order to be a living thing. And the rose will die, because you can't get oxygen while you're weighted down by concrete. Do you get my drift? I got lost in the metaphor there, but I'm hoping that you're understanding that getting unstuck is very critical and is very important. And it's something that we all do. We all do it. And it's important to evaluate our own processes of doing it. I'm just sharing some of my steps because I just went through an unstuck process. And it gets harder. I've experienced it getting harder. This is easy for me in certain situations to go through my process. But for me, especially with new life transitions, sometimes it takes a while to get unstuck, to recognize that you're unstuck. So I definitely advise you to listen to this, save this podcast episode, but run it back. Getting unstuck. Number 1, pay attention to yourself. Pay attention. Self-care. Allow yourself to feel the emotions that you are feeling. All of that is a form of paying attention to you. Number 2, evaluate your actions. Recognize whether or not the things that you are doing are helping you to get unstuck and grow, or are allowing you and encouraging you to stay in a depressive, to stay in a weighted down, to stay in a heavy, angry, emotional state. Think about your actions. Number 3, get back to what you know. We have all of the ingredients necessary in order to cook the meal. We have everything already in our armoire, in our toolbox that we need in order to make ourselves feel better, in order to replenish our energy. And if we feel that we do not, then guess what? YouTube is a wonderful tool. Google is a wonderful tool. Speaking to a friend is a wonderful tool. How do I replenish my energy? Right? You might find a podcast. You might find a YouTube video. You might find a song. But you have all the tools necessary to do what it is you need to do to grow and to feel better and to be energized in order to face life's challenges. Number 4, face the challenge, face the issue, face the problem that has been bothering you. Do your work in order to actually address and face and to conquer the challenge that comes and uprises in your life. If we continue to run away from our problems, then our life will continue to not be ours. We will be living for someone else the rest of our lives. I can't say it any more plainly than that. Face the challenges that life presents. We are created and made to be able to bear the burden and get rid of the burden with healing. That every single burden that we're giving. God places nothing on our shoulders that we can't handle. So I pray and hope that this podcast is short, has been inspirational, has been helpful to anyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode, especially if it was touching to you. I am excited to share it, and I hope to also release more solo episodes because I feel that I have a message to give, and I feel like my voice does need to be heard. I have people telling me that it does, so I'm gonna do better at sharing my voice. But I pray that you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, evening, afternoon, whatever is going on for you. I pray that you have a wonderful day. I pray that peace be with you wherever you go, also known as Assalamu Alaikum. Peace.